Hello, it is Heather from The Reading Moment. Today I have another author spotlight for you. I have Kate Stradling, who is a Christian indie author who writes fairy tale, retellings, and fantasy. So I'm going to go through the ones that I own, and I will tell you right off the bat, I'm trying to read her to zero. My library does not carry many of hers, and I can't request any more books this year. But I'm slowly trying to purchase them and read through them. So I'm going to go through the order I read them in. So first up, I read Heir and the Spare, The Heir and the Spare a few years ago, and I absolutely loved it. It was one of my favorite books of the year. It is a little bit dark, it is a little bit harsh, but it is wonderful. Basically, you have two princesses born to a kingdom, and one is the heir and the other's the spare, you know, in case something happens. The spare is not treated well by the heir. There is, trigger warning of some abuse here. She is sent off to a school where they don't tell anybody who she is, so she's not treated very well there either. And it is a romance, but there's a lot going on in here. It's very intense, and some kingdom turmoil going on. So I really, really love this. Can't recommend it enough. And then I read Brine and Bone, and I read this during February for a retelling, and I do not like the Little Mermaid story at all, but this was wonderfully written. It's a sweet little novella. Maybe sweet is not right. It's also a little bit dark. But here the prince is in a boat accident, and the main character, what is her name? Is it Magdalena? Yeah, Magdalena comes and rescues him, and there is a bit of healing magic within this. There is a mermaid in it who is mute, who does play a role, so you've got all of those vibes in there. It's a little more violent in certain places, but overall it was really very interesting, a very unique take on it, and a really good quick read. Then I read Grimm's Fairy Tale of Thrushbeard, because I didn't know Thrushbeard before I picked up this. And it's Maid and Minstrel by Kate Stradling. I have now read 3 Thrushbeard retellings by Kate Stradling, and it's one of my favorite fairy tales now. But if you don't know, Thrushbeard is a fairy tale where the king or the duke, I don't know, depends on the telling, he has a daughter he's wanting to marry off. He invites all these men to bargain, game, whatever, depending on the retelling, to try to get her hand to marry her off, right? And she, depending on the retelling, she goes around and she calls them all nicknames or mean names and insults them all. They all leave. Her father gets mad, and he's like, fine, if you're not going to choose from the people I brought here, then the next person who comes to the door, that's who you're going to marry. And it's a beggar who comes to the door, or a minstrel, depending on the retelling, and she has to marry him. And then I'm not going to give away the rest of it, but things happen, okay? And it's a great, fun little romance. It's one of the Grimms that I read was a little bit more, she's kind of not a savory character, and the person she ends up with was not the most savory character, so, take it however you want. But Maid and Minstrel was a phenomenal retelling. Absolutely loved it. Again, a short little novella by Kate Stradling. Absolutely loved it. Quick read. Really loved the characters and the take on it. It was just, I don't know. It was just really neat. It's very more traditional, in a retelling of it. For a certain extent, there is a little bit of fairy magic. If that is something you're not okay with, then maybe that won't be for you, but it was very well done, I think. And it's not dark magic, it's not creepy, it's not any of those things. Very fairy tale-ish, and I really enjoyed it. Then I read another Thrushbeard retelling by Kate Stradling, The Beggar Prince, and I don't particularly love this cover. I don't like covers with people on it, but that's just me. Some people really, really like these kind of covers. Anyways, it's part of the Once Upon a Prince series, where you take a traditional fairy tale and you tell it from the prince's perspective, which was neat. And also it has some disability representation in this, which was also a neat take on it. Really loved it. Great Thrushbeard retelling. Also pretty short. I just really loved the characters in it. I loved the way it was told. I liked the prince's perspective as a different option. Very, very good. Then I read, and I don't have it here because it is a short story, and you can download it, and I'll put the link in my description box below. You can get it for free. She has a short story of a Thrushbeard retelling that is an urban setting with fae in it, and yeah, it was out there, but I really liked it. You can also listen to it being read to you as an audiobook style on a podcast that is like fantasy next. I don't remember what it's called. I'll put it down below. And that's how I listen to it. I also downloaded it for free onto Kindle. It is just really a great story for an urban setting, a very unique take on it. Again, you know, you think one author, same fairy tale retold 3 different ways, traditional, then from the prince's perspective, and then an urban setting. You'd think that it would be a lot of crossover, and there really isn't. I think she did a phenomenal job of making each one very unique. Next up, I have Kingdom of Ruses. Yeah, if you've been here a while, you saw this on a TBR a while ago. I just haven't picked it up. I need to pick it up. So that is my next Kate Stradling, and also Deathmark I have coming, which is a Blue Castle retelling, but I had to read Blue Castle first, and I put it off because I thought, I don't want to read this Ella Montgomery. I won't like it, and I loved it. It's my favorite Ella Montgomery now. So I had to get Deathmark, which is a Blue Castle retelling, apparently. I don't like the title. It kind of put me off, but hey, we're gonna go with it. I'm gonna just trust Kate Stradling because I have loved all her other work. So I'm gonna hopefully get to this summer and then start Deathmark as well. This is a series, and like I said, I'm trying to read her to zero. She has several other fairy tale retellings. I know later this year, Chantel's Indie Book Club is doing Soot and Slipper, which is a Cinderella retelling. So I've been saving that one for whenever Chantel does it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Kate Stradling. I really highly recommend her. Good, clean, Christian, they're all, you know, clean romance, nothing spicy. Maybe there's kissing sometimes, not even always. They're unique takes on stories. Some of them have a lot of heavier topics, but I think she does it very well. And while she's a Christian author and you can see some Christian morals and thoughts throughout, it is not something that is overtly Christian, so it wouldn't be a turnoff to non-Christians, but it still gets point the light wins over darkness. And I really, really loved all of these. So yeah, that's Kate Stradling. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.